Welcome to the Chop Shop Search Arb sessions with me, Martin, and Matthias Miller on the other end, coming at you straight from Aschaffenburg, Bavaria, in Berlin. I thought that today, you and I hope you have a pen and a paper, because I want to ask you, could you write down your top 3 most critical mistakes that you've done during your long search ARB career? I'm going to write them down as well, and then we could compare notes and share them, because it's great if you hear other people's mistakes. Maybe you don't repeat them. Do you have the tools that you need? Lovely. It looks like an iPad pen, but hope you can write with it.
Oh, it's from Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas.
Oh, love it. It's on brand. You were probably there for some form of arbitrage related conference.
I think it's from the legendary visit, remember, in 2017 when I was in Vegas 2 weeks, like 14 days in a row.
Oh, yeah. You were treated to some very nice T-bone steak, huh? Tomahawk steak. Some very nice people.
Oh, yeah. The tomahawks and the champagne and all that's all too much.
Yeah.
Especially 14 days in a row.
Yeah. As long as someone else is paying, it's fine.
Yeah, well, that's a given, you know.
So the top 3 mistakes. You got it? I'm still on the third. Thinking about the third. Okay. Good. Let's show them. See if we have the same. I know it's like the other way around, huh? This is really difficult. You put 0 there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. This doesn't work really, but okay. So do you want to present your top 3 mistakes?
Yeah.
Okay. Hit it.
Number 1, biggest mistake of all time. Happens all the time. Not delegating.
This is matching with mine. Okay. Do you want to give some color to this point?
Yes. Well, delegation, feels like a privilege. When you're first able to delegate, it's like, oh, I can tell other people what to do. But then, relatively soon you realize, what's the point of this privilege of delegation if you don't have the right people to delegate to?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So delegation doesn't just mean, hey, I can tell somebody else do that. No, delegation means I have to put the right people in place who can actually do what I want them to do, and then they're ready and listening when I tell them what to do.
That's great. That was my number 2. I would have described it. My feeling was, when we discovered ARB, it felt like, oh shit, we've discovered like a crazy money printing machine, and we have a secret here, and we have to guard that secret, that other people don't steal it from us somehow. And with time, I learned, sure, there's a risk that people will take knowledge and go away. But if you set up the system nicely, if you make it easy for them to succeed and to make money in a stable way, because most people want stable income. They like to have someone to hold their hand also. If you can be that person that they can hold on to, most of them will stay. And also, if you do it right, then it's not going to be that easy to copy your system. If your system is that simple that people can just run away with it, then maybe you're not doing it right. Maybe you don't have the right scale. So now that I've dropped a long time ago. But part of why I didn't want to delegate is that I had the feeling, oh, there's nobody out there. It's like a very ego-driven thing. Nobody can do this very advanced search ARB stuff, finding pictures on Google Images or whatever it now might be. There's nobody out there. Well, if you have that feeling, that means that you haven't broken down the process enough. This is very important. When you delegate, you shouldn't delegate in order to find someone like you. Because if you're a business owner and you want to find someone like you, it's going to be very difficult, because your clone, your doppelganger out there, he would have their own company He wouldn't go out searching for jobs there most often. So you make it simple, you break down the process, and you hire for different parts of the process. Because if you want this, I've said before, if you want to find someone that understands AdWords, that's a graphic designer, that knows how to register domains, that's also very analytical, that can build shit in Excel, like that's going to take a very long time to find that person. Split it up, make it easy. Take the most annoying part or the easiest to delegate and begin with that. So yeah, that costs a lot not to delegate early. And I also want to add, when you start to delegate, it's like with any other task, you're gonna suck at delegating to begin with. You're gonna make mistakes, but just you have to learn how to delegate properly. Oh, here I also want to add in the beginning when I delegated, that's a real big fuck up. Then I was like, oh, these people, they have to face the same reality that I faced. I'm gonna throw them out into the water and then they have to sink or swim. Like, no way. Like, I want to emphasize again, the easier you make it for the people to succeed, the more enjoyable the task will be to delegate. The people are gonna be happy, you're gonna be happy. So your task is not like to throw people in the water and go away and then hope that money comes out the other end, but instead make a system that will make it easy. Your job is to help them to succeed, basically. And you have to invest in these people. If you don't invest in your people, you're not going to get anything back. This is like me talking with my former self. So beautiful.
Yeah, and and then if you do all that, you might win the big prize. The big prize that you get from proper delegation is that you start owning your own time again as the
Yeah.
business owner, and you can think. You can think freely. Yeah? You can think outside the box.
Yes.
You can look at your process. You can take a bird's eye view and go like, "Hey, what are we even doing here? Is this working? How can we make it better?
Yes.
How can we make it more diverse? How can we find complementary things?" All these joys then come because, hey, guess what? Even I only have two hands and one brain. But if I delegate properly, I can use my hands and my brain on my own time being productive.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of how long did it take us to delegate? Like we delegated very carefully. It took years.
Yeah. And again, maybe to your point also about, oh, we found the secret. Yawn. Like, if you think you found a secret, and think twice.
Yeah, true. That's true. It's a lot about doing. It's a lot about having speed. Okay, you need capital, you need knowledge, and you need speed. Speed is of the essence when you are. So if you're a one-man shop, just finding your own images and renewing your headlines, you can't be fast.
It's not going to cut it.
Yeah.
And you have nowadays, there's all these opportunities. You can work with people from all over the world. You can find them easily. It's all possible.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe last blast from the past, right? Martin here went to business school. Well, I also did a little.
Thank God, I learned so much important stuff
while I was at university. And I don't remember much, but I remember one thing from there's a very important book in the world of marketing. It's Philip Kotler's Marketing Management. And I only retain in my head one thing from that book, and it's that poor companies ignore the competition, like average companies follow the competition, and winning companies lead the competition.
Boom.
So if you have something and you do it, and then you see other people doing it after you, that means you're ahead. And therefore, if you delegate properly and you use your brain, you can stay ahead.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
All right. What else do you have here on your list? What's the second point or the first point?
Well, then I started with 0. So point 1, it's like not scaling fast enough.
Not scaling fast. Yeah. Please.
Like
please
thinking like, oh, man, we've reached this point. Look, like, we spend like $5,000 a day, and like we're making like $10,000 in revenue. That's like $5,000 margin in a day. I think that's all the money in the world.
Yeah.
Tell you what, it's not.
That is a great point. Yeah, search arb is so powerful that like it forces you to reevaluate your perspective on your potential to make money. It sounds weird, but sometimes it can almost be like a bit scary to make a lot of money, like much more than you think. You think like this can't be real. This can't work. But so it takes a little bit of discipline to keep on reaching higher, because most often you can. There's a book I haven't read about it, but it's called The 10X Factor by Grant Cardone. I heard someone yesterday saying that it influenced them so much. And it's just whatever you do, then you say, no, I can do 10 times more. So I think this applies to ARB as well. And I've observed it in many campaign managers, because say you have a couple of campaigns going, you have a little bit of success, and you have a nice ROI. Say that you buy the traffic at a 50% ROI. That's comfy. Then you're not dancing on the edge here because you push it so hard. So I've observed more than one campaign manager, they just relax them because they like it. They feel good about themselves when the ROI is high and the volatility is low and so. But 50% ROI means that you're not pushing hard enough. You should push harder. You shouldn't be that comfortable. So yeah, just to underscore your point. Okay. My second point is, I actually wrote on top of the list. I jumped around because it took the delegation. Delegation was number 2 for me. My number 1 point is not going 100% with search arb. That's a huge mistake, because you have to think that we've done it for a long time, right? It was so on the fringe back then that there was also a feeling this cannot continue. This will be closed soon. I'm talking back in like 2010, 2011. So with that in mind, we made the, in hindsight, grave mistake to think, let's build out a different business at the same time so we have something to fall back on. And that business then grew and grew and grew and took more and more attention. And then we had customers, and the customers need attention, and you need to go to meetings with the customers. And then you don't run your arbitrage as good as you could. If I could use a time machine, and the easiest thing I would do is to tell myself, stick with it and go 100% in search arb. And I can understand people that don't do it because it's a bit nerve-wracking. At times it goes up and down, and sometimes your accounts get banned, especially way back when it wasn't like so kosher and established. Then I think many people got shaken out when their accounts got suspended one time too many, and they thought this search arb thing is over. So big mistake.
Yeah, I think you have it's I think it's. Of course, I appreciate what you say, and I'm 100 behind it. But I think for the neutral observer, it's maybe not that easy to see, because when I meet people in my life and they ask me like, "Oh, what do you do?" and then if they're interested, I usually bring it, and if they ask more questions, then I tell them what it is and how it works.
Yeah.
And then they always say like, "Well, that sounds like a great business," and I say, "Well, it is."
Yeah.
And then they go like, "Could I do this too?" And I always say, hey, yes, you can. Right? And then if they're still interested,
Yeah.
I like, and they ask like, so what would it take? And I tell them.
Yeah.
I tell them, well, here's how it works. And say, I mean, for you have no experience, so there's going to be a learning curve. You need to hire a few people. You need to have money to do your traffic trades. You need to build all this up. But I always say to them, like, if you have $1 million, you could probably experiment for 2 years, and if it works out for you, then you'll have a running search arbitrage business.
Mm.
And then they go like, yeah, okay, but then I have to go to the bank, get the $1 million. And then I, of course, put my first objection in that way. I'm like, oh, so listen, if you go to the bank and present your business plan, and the bank's going to see that, oh, what are you doing here? You're dealing with Google, and Google can cancel your contract at any time, not giving you information. Bank's not going to finance that.
No.
And they're going like, oh, okay, so it's a bit risky. And I'm like, yeah, but you could use your own money. But then they usually have their own conclusion that, hey, wait a second.
Yeah.
If I have $1 million, it's not very wise to invest $1 million in something as volatile as this. I'd rather, I don't know. Well, nowadays it's interesting again, put it in a savings account.
Yeah.
Right? So, I'm transparent with everybody. It's possible, you can do it. It depends on how you want to do it.
Yeah.
And the best way to do it is not try to put $1 million in this.
No.
Because, the fact that this is not the best way is one of the biggest upsides of this whole business. It's actually that this upside, you don't need volume of capital to start.
Mm-hmm.
You can start small.
Yeah.
Build your way up.
Mm.
Like if somebody came to us now and say, oh, we want to invest $100 million in your business, and we'd be like, hey, we're happy to take your $100 million, but we'd probably invest it in something else, because our business doesn't need $100 million cash in.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And that, that's something that's, I think it's underestimated how free the search arbitrage world is, that it actually lets everybody in. Mm. And there's somewhat of a bit of a wall for like volume of capital investment, because there's no play for this here. And that's what makes it easily accessible for everybody else.
Yeah.
So anybody under the sun can do it and should do it.
And you just got to walk through the desert and learn it.
Yeah.
It's got to feel the pain, feel the ups and downs.
First you do it yourself. Maybe you have a job, you do your job, and you spend 3-4 hours an evening on this.
Yeah.
That you invest money, and after a week you have 1,000 more than you put in.
Yeah.
Then at some point you will see, okay, maybe it's time to quit the other job and focus on this. Mm-hmm. Then you start delegating, and suddenly, you can't expect to go from 100 to 1 million in a month. No. But if you take time and respect the nature of the ecosystem, that volume injection of money doesn't help. It needs to be incremental.
Mm-hmm. Dude, you must describe your work in very interesting terms, because nobody has ever asked me, oh, I want to do this too. Not a single person.
Yeah, well, that's not what they say usually. They usually ask, well, it sounds interesting. Could I this too? Yeah. Could I do this too? And then, of course, I say, well, I could just say no at the end of the discussion, but it's boring.
Yeah.
I say, for sure you can do it.
Yeah, but it's true. But yeah, it doesn't mean that it's easy.
It doesn't mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean that it's kind of efficient.
Yeah.
It depends on where you are in life. But I think for us, and we've benefited greatly from the fact that this industry, like, anyone can play.
Yeah.
Anyone.
It's very democratic.
Maximum democracy. Yeah. And even in this world, in the world we live in, where usually capital and amounts of capital win, here we have a play where everybody can play.
Everybody can make money.
No matter how much money you have.
Dude, there's people that say that the American dream is dead. That's not true. It still lives. No. And it lives in search arbitrage, and it's accessible on a global level.
Beautiful.
Yeah. What else? What other mistakes have you done, Matthias?
Okay, my last one, it goes a little bit into the direction of what we just discussed.
Yeah.
One is, I didn't write down like not going in 100%.
Yeah.
But I wrote down underestimating longevity. Right?
Oh yeah.
Like thinking that it's gonna end.
Yeah, that's connected.
I might just as well have thought, why should it end?
Yeah.
But no, all this time was, shit, it's gonna end. Shit, it's gonna end.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking, let's expand.
Yeah.
Let's find out what else we can do here.
Exactly.
Having this restrictive mindset of like, it's gonna end, it's gonna end. Instead of, why would it end? Oh, this is beautiful. Let's make more.
Yeah. That's but that's when it comes to tech, it's difficult to imagine how much it can grow. There's a lot of growth. I mean, we've witnessed a lot of growth in general, like the macro environment for tech, but we're not done. We're not done. Okay. My third and last one is not constantly improving. And with that, I mean, when you arb, there's going to be bad times and there's going to be good times. And in the bad times, okay, the signal is clear, you need to improve. But there's also a trap when it's going great. Because there were times it was going great for a long time without the hiccups. And then I have to confess, I got a little bit lazy. I just went, put on the autopilot and enjoyed the money that came in. Whereas I should have been constantly thinking, how can I make this process better? This is amazing. This time will not last forever. But now I have the breathing room and the mind space to think about how to sharpen my tools for when this shit is going to take a turn down, or in connection to the points that we brought up earlier, this cake is nearly infinite. I'm taking this piece out of it, but I want to take more. What kind of tools can I apply in order to get a bigger piece of the cake? And when you ask yourself that in your own organization, yeah, it goes back to like making it easy to delegate. You should think about what is annoying and repetitive and mind-numbing, because there's a lot of tasks in the art process if you do everything from beginning to the end. Remove and automate those tasks. And if you removed and automated all of them, then you're going to find that, hey, it's way easier to hire. You can hire much, much more. You can delegate more. You can scale more. You're going to have less headaches. It's all going to be wonderful.
Yeah. No, I think like complacency is dangerous. No?
We've seen many people in our industry that have had a lot of success and that then they start to party a lot and travel a lot, and so it's nice. You should enjoy your success and wealth and whatever, but don't get too distracted. It's a trap.
Yeah. Well, I think this is nice. Yeah, I think we can make we can kind of combine your last point with the first one, discuss the delegation piece, because in essence, like the real like opportunity cost of complacency is that you're forgetting to delegate more, right? Because complacent, what does it mean? It means, oh, the money is nice, everything's cool. I'm like, oh, come on, I've done so much. I'm gonna do this other stuff for a little bit, or I'm gonna enjoy it, right? When that is your moment to actually think, hey, wait a second. If I have the luxury if I have the luxury that I can be complacent and still make a lot of money, that, that's a golden moment. And how do you put longevity to that moment? Well, it means you have to hire someone immediately.
Yeah.
Or like you have to find someone who can help you being complacent in a way.
Yeah.
So you got to, so that you arrive. I mean, I haven't arrived at that point, but maybe some people have, where you've delegated everything. Like everything is delegated.
That's the capitalist nirvana.
And all you worry about is, all you're doing is basically making sure that everything stays delegated, and all the stuff that you delegated is being handled to your expectations.
I have a great cautionary tale from the early days of ARB. Someone that taught me the first steps. When he had success and money was just pouring in, then his thought was, okay, delegate. Yes, he did. So he found a dude. He's good at doing everything, and he just handed him all the credit card data explained the whole process, didn't do anything, and was just driving around in his new sports car. And then the dude just ran away with all the credit cards and all the.
That's improper delegation.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You have to delegate to the right people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
that's
it's
the thing.
an extreme example of complacency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, lovely. Then we have our biggest mistakes in ARB. I hope the listeners and viewers have enjoyed that, and I hope they can do it better than we've done it. It's definitely possible. A lot of mistakes are on the way, but hey, mistakes are part of the journey. Everybody makes mistakes. So. Good.
Oh, yeah.
With that, I say thank you very much, and we'll see each other next week again.